The Witchery of Lozen, a medicine woman, the Apache Joan of Arc. Lozen was born about 1840 in an area in Taos County, New Mexico called Ojo Caliente, a place famous for its warm, healing mineral springs. She was and continues to be an exceptional personification of goddess magic and warrior shamanic power, the Apache hand into which she was born, the Eastern Shirakahua, was matriarchal. The tribe's creation story honors a deity known as White Painted Woman. The role of medicine woman is especially exalted in their culture. Their Shirakahua, also called the Chihene, Apache were formerly nomads. Their spiritual practices include painting their faces with ceremonial clay designs to bestow supernatural abilities. They called upon these forces historically for assistance in conducting raids and overcoming enemies. From her childhood on, Lozen, whose name means dexterous horse thief, showed astounding psychic talent. She battled to rid her homeland of invaders from Mexico, as well as the United States and Europe. Lozen's life was completely dedicated to performing humanitarian acts of bravery to protect her people. Her military prowess was enhanced by her remarkable horsemanship and ability to shoot. Her brother was the famous Apache chief Victorio, who was a trusted ally to, and sometimes called the right-hand man, of the legendary Geronimo. After Victorio was killed, Lozen rolled into battle with Geronimo. Historically, Geronimo and Victorio are more well known, but Lozen's story survives also. Victorio praised his sister, saying that Lozen's was a shield to her people, strong as a man, braver than most, and cunning in strategy. Her tireless dedication to others for more than 30 years coined her nickname, the Apache Joan of Arc. Accounts describe Lozen as beautiful, a magnificent woman on horseback. Women often rode alongside the male warriors in her day, holding a knife or a gun to assist. The Apache culture at that time did not believe in ownership, so stealing wasn't necessarily considered a crime. Stories are repeated today describing Lozen as a kind of Robin Hood figure. One involves her stealing a horse to help a new mother and her baby escape danger. Lozen is credited with often hiding children and elderly people in order to save their lives. When locating an enemy, Lozen called upon magical and supernatural sources. Her gifts became active after she performed coming-of-age rites when she went alone into the wilderness as an adolescent of about age 12. Reports document her talent for moving about unseen and disappearing into her surroundings. She was a prophetess who could find the direction of a potential enemy presence through her connection with a supreme Apache deity called Usen. Tradition states that Usen already existed at the dawn of time. He had no parents but sang 4 times. 4 is a sacred number among the Apache to create life. He made both the first human being and a sun god. These 2 divine creations shook hands, and the earth appeared. It was too small at first, so the pair kicked it around to gather more mass. As Earth grew larger, Usen created Tarantula to help. Tarantula did this by spinning a web with 4 cords, which were then pulled to make the planet the right size. Afterwards, Usen created the first tribes out of a sacred fire. He then left, but he still watches over humanity from a distant cosmos. Usen might intercede to help from time to time, especially if called upon. To gain his aid, Lozen would stand with her hands outstretched To gain his aid, Lozen would stand with her hands outstretched, chanting an invocation to Usen, while slowly turning around in a circle. Then either her veins would turn dark blue, or her palms would begin to tingle. Either reaction would reveal a significant direction as Usen's answer. In her chant, Lozen named Usen's power over the earth, and then claimed that power for herself, for her specific purposes. Lozen never had a commitment ceremony like a marriage to a man recorded. She did have long-time female companion, and there is some speculation about the nature of this relationship. The Apache recognized several, maybe as many as 7 different. After years of warfare and the death of Victoria, Lozen assisted other Native Americans in the brokering of a peace treaty to free about 600 Native Americans who were being held prisoner. It was an agreement of surrender and the laying down of arms. As is true of every other treaty, the government would break the agreement with the Native Americans. 5 days later, Lozen was among a group, including Geronimo, who were transported by train to Florida and then to the Mount Vernon Barracks in Alabama. She died there, probably of dysentery or tuberculosis. Not real. On June 17, 1889, at about age 50, some members of her tribe eventually managed to return west to their ancestral lands in New Mexico, where Lozen is still honored. Storytellers maintain an oral tradition remembering her exploits to this day.